Jesus Christ was crucified on Friday as a price for the sins committed by humanity. Yet the day is referred to as Good Friday. Why Good Friday? Considering the circumstances, and what are the lessons therein? In seasons like this, the roads are usually busy. So, what are the strategies being put in place by the Federal Road Safety Commission? This is just a peep into the full package of your midday tonic, NTN News Panorama. I'm Joseph Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Hello. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to do whatever it takes towards sanitizing the nation's electoral process and guaranteeing voters' confidence in the ballot box before the general election. The president made the promise at the National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressives Congress at the national headquarters of the party in Abuja. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Described as the first formal National Executive Committee meeting of the governing APC, the forum provided the opportunity for members to take critical steps towards enhancing the unity and progress of the party, reviewing the journey so far in the implementation of the change agenda and charting a pragmatic course towards meeting national aspirations. Addressing the party's stalwarts, including Vice President Yemi Oshimbaju, members of the National Working Committee, some governors, and members of the National Assembly, President Buhari expressed serious concern over the rate of politically motivated killings and other violent activities characterizing the electoral process, especially in Rivers State. He said this is not the way he came to power, and under his watch, such will not be allowed to continue.
At this stage of our political development, to remain brutal, I think it's shameful. And as a government, I promise we'll do something by the next general election. What I want Nigerians to remember me, even if I have to leave the presidency tomorrow, is that I respect them, in the sense that I want all Nigerians to believe and hold their PVCs as personal and their entitlement and Nigerians, and to use it the way they like, to vote whom they want at whichever election.
On governance, the president said despite prevailing challenges, his administration has remained focused in addressing the nation's fundamental problems of security, corruption, and economy, which he blamed on inefficiency of the past administration.
We are now to pick the pieces as APC government, so there's no need complaining, but let us concentrate and see how much we can do with whatever remains of the economy.
He said through the implementation of the Treasury single account, over 3 trillion naira has so far been mopped up by the federal government.
Where was this 3 trillion naira to have been if TSA is not imposed? That money is there, is identified, is quantified, and when the budget comes back eventually, I think the respective ministries will see how they can allocate it to the rest of the country.
President Buhari said he is not unmindful of the fact that Nigerians want greater pace in the prosecution of those who abuse trust, among other acts of governance, but said that his administration is committed to following due process.
An effort is being made to give a list of recoveries in whatever currencies so far, so that Nigerians will know that it's not all a long story.
The national chairman of the APC, John Odigi Oyegun, who expressed satisfaction with the giant strides recorded so far by the Buhari administration, restated the resolve of the party to give every support to the president in the full implementation of the change agenda.
This party must stand as one man behind the success of our president and of the policies that he stands for.
This is the second National Executive Committee meeting of the governing APC since taking over the reins of power. From the APC National Secretariat, Adamu Sambu, NTN News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC is to reduce the number of the members of the Board of Trustee of the party. The National Chairman APC, John Odigi Oyegun, who made this known while responding to questions from journalists after the party's NEC meeting. Reducing the number of the BOT, he said, will enhance the efficiency of the board in taking decisions. The forum also condemned the alleged killing of the party's member during the recent Rivers rerun election. The amicable resolution of issues confronting the party at the forum, the chairman said, is a testimony of the unity among the NEC members.
For the first time, a lot of people said, established a budget for the party today. And lastly, I think the only most important thing is that we have set up a committee to look once more into the constitution of the party with a view to streamlining it. More particularly, as the NEC decided to downsize our board of trustees. And that will be looked at in line with all the other constitutional amendments.
Let's bring you other news now. The over 3 trillion naira realized following the implementation of Treasury single account will in due course be plowed into the economy. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, stated these at a news conference organized by the Buhari Media Support Group. Ismail Musa has details.
As part of measures to fully educate Nigerians on the programs and policies of the Buhari administration, the federal government is to embark on town hall meetings at regional and state levels. The regional meetings to be chaired by the Vice President, Yemi Oshibanjo. The Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity said will further enhance the citizens' participation in governance.
Government realizes there is a need to take information to the people. The central bank had more than 3 trillion naira money saved from the use of the TSA. So in effect, money available to be spent. A lot of things will be, the money will be unleashed on the country. And there will be a lot of activity there.
Garba Shehu commended the Nigerian army for the giant stride in the ongoing war against insurgency. He added that the federal government has commenced the rebuilding of infrastructure destroyed by Boko Haram. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, has called on Nigerians to constantly engage in a medical checkup to improve the health of the nation. Mrs. Buhari stated these in a message to the official flag of free medical screening organized by her pet project, Future Assured, in partnership with a non-governmental organization, Cry for Help, in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir has details.
This is the 5th phase of the provision of free medical services to the less privileged, courtesy of the wife of the president's initiative, Future Assured. The intention is to reach to every part of the country. The exercise, basically a free eye examination to prevent vision impairment that has to do with glaucoma and cataracts, more especially amongst the elderly, in addition to the provision of blood pressure and sugar level checks. The provision of this treatment received the attention of volunteer medical professionals. The wife of the president, who was represented by her personal physician, Dr. Abdurrahman Muhammad Kamal, said is aimed at improving the health status of the people, which is in line with the WHO vision of eliminating major causes of preventable blindness by year 2020. The governor of the state, Ibukule Amosu, promised his full support to safeguard the health of the nation. The wife of the governor, Olufosho Amosu, applauded the initiative. The beneficiaries expressed their happiness with this gesture. Over 5,000 people have benefited from the exercise. From Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
The establishment of space agencies to enable the armed forces leverage on the existing Nigeria satellite in the orbit for security purposes. Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu says the application of space technology to provide security services is a high-tech approach which guarantees precision. Science correspondent Keriano Mayo reports.
At a meeting with Chief of Space Defense Agency Vice Marshal David Udo, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu commended the nation's space program, which provided training opportunities for the nation's space scientists who now have the skills to design satellites. Dr. Onu told science correspondents that the nation's space program could lead to the launch of the first Nigerian astronaut into space by the year 2030.
From this year, we will commence the implementation of the program that we have, and because of the importance of space to the well-being of our nation, we will work very hard to make sure that not just an astronaut, that astronaut has to be a Nigerian, but whether a man or a woman, I don't want to tell you yet.
Chief of Space Defense Agency Vice Marshal Udo was at the ministry to seek the support of the minister in space defense operations.
Security is everybody's business, like you said. It's not only for the military, we are all involved. And it's a commodity, if I'm allowed to use that word, that we all don't know we have until we lose it. I'm talking about security. So it's very important to us. Without security, you cannot do any business.
Nigeria is presently Africa's leader in space technology with 3 Earth observatory satellites and 1 communication satellite. In Abuja, Keriano Umayo, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has deployed 12,000 personnel and over 800 patrol vehicles across the country for the Easter celebration to ensure that travelers reach their destinations safely. Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi disclosed this at a media briefing in Abuja. Aliyu Tukuru reports.
With regards to the Easter celebrations, which is usually associated with high traffic as a result of the increase in number of people traveling across the country, the Corps Marshal said adequate measures have been put in place to ensure that the roads are safe for travelers.
In case of family traveling, there is need for everybody, both those in the front row and the rear seats, to fasten their seat belts. The children must not be put on the front seat. The wife should learn to sit at the back and let the child stay with the mother at the back seat, with the child restrained seat. We must ensure the tires are okay and the braking system and the wiper are fully in order.
With 65% of accidents attributed to public transport, earlier in the morning, the FRSC embarked on sensitization campaign in some motor parks and strategic points within the FCT. During the campaign, breathalyzers were used to ensure that drivers were not driving under the influence of banned substances, and flyers carrying safety standard message were also distributed. In Abuja, Aliyu Tukur, NTA News.
And the IGP has directed all zonal AIGs and state commissioners of police to take necessary measures in ensuring the provision of adequate security for worshippers, travelers, picnics, all citizens and the country during and after the Easter period. In his statement by the force PRO Olabisi Kolawole, the IGP, while felicitating with Christian faithful on Easter celebration, restates the resolve and commitment of the police administration to reposition the force for greater efficiency. And now, still talking Easter celebration, joining us on this edition of Panorama is Pastor Christian Christian Reformed Church, Nigeria, Reverend Bulus Gani. He is here to shed light on Good Friday. Welcome to the program, Reverend.
It's my pleasure.
Now, let's start with the name Good Friday. What gave rise to the name Good Friday, given the circumstances that preceded the day?
Yeah, it's called Good Friday because of the intention of God concerning the day and concerning the event. Good Friday because God chose, and Jesus, of course, agreed to give his life for humanity on this very day. So Good Friday because of God's intervention to bring forth his goodwill of salvation to humanity. Good Friday because divinity decided to to kiss humanity with love and compassion. So it is the purpose of the event that makes it good.
Okay, so let's look at the significance of the day in Christian calendar. What would you say is the significance of the day?
Yeah, the significance of Good Friday is that, one, we know that Jesus paid the price for our sins. He washed away our sins. He cleansed us. He paid the price, that made us to be Christians and have our sins forgiven. So, greatly, number one, forgiveness of sins. And we see service. We see service to humanity in the sense that Jesus was willing to give himself on the behalf of others. Okay. So it's so significant that today we have access to God. Man now has access to God. We can communicate with God. We can reach out to God. We can talk with God. Hitherto, we had no this access to God before now. But because of the sacrifice, because of the death of Jesus on this particular day, the curtain was torn into two, and so we have access into the Holy of Holies.
Okay, now talk us through how Christians should conduct themselves during this special day.
Yeah, during this day, number one, there should be a reflection on the fact that Jesus was selfless. He did not die for himself. He died for others. So we reflect on this agony, the suffering, the pains that Jesus went through for us. When we reflect on that, it teaches us, it helps us to live better lives. It teaches us commitment, because the pains that Jesus went through shows commitment, dedication, and sacrifice. So we should reflect, yes.
Okay, you talked about sacrifice.
Yes.
Now, how can we apply sacrifice to nation building?
Yeah, you see, selflessness is what was behind the sacrifice of Jesus. He was selfless. So we as Nigerians, as Christians and as Nigerians, we must forgo some things for the sake of the growth of Nigeria. We have to be patient. We have to bear certain things. There may be situations that we are passing through that we have to, accommodate them for the sake of the growth of Nigeria, the development of Nigeria, especially in the face of scarce resources. But let's say, for example, there are certain things you were enjoying, but today they are not available. In the spirit of sacrifice, you forgo them for the comfort of other people.
Thank you very much, Reverend, for coming to our program to shed more light on Good Friday. So I wish you a happy Good Friday.
Yeah, happy Good Friday.
All right.
And Jesus has been an exemplary life,
yeah.
So we will follow suit.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much. All right, let's move forward now with the construction of 18 Almajiri schools by the federal government in Borno State. UBEC says many out-of-school children are now being more educated to live meaningful lives. Frank Auzomaolo reports that officials of the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, visited some of the schools in Maiduguri. Take a look.
These are pupils from the Almajiri Model School, Mashamari, Jere local government area of Borno State. This center is managed by a Malam with the support of UBEC.
Challenges of feeding the students and paying the salary of the staff. The system from government to take care of the feeding, then at the same time pay the salaries of the teachers.
Same goes for the Model Sangaya Center, Bolori Ward, Maiduguri.
There are 950 boarders in the school. There are about 410 day students that are coming to return and go back.
The idea behind the establishment of the Almajiri schools is to map up children from the streets and equip them with lifelong learning.
Despite all this fear and whatever you have about the insurgency and this, the children are still in the school en masse without even feeding. You see them all over the schools. So what we need to do is to provide them with an enabling environment, learning environment.
The visit to the office of the Borno State Deputy Governor Alhaji Usman Dukwa by the UBEC team further reiterates federal government's commitment to rebuilding schools that were damaged by the insurgents. Franka Uzoma Olwa, NTA News.
To some cherry news now, the process leading to the recruitment of 10,000 policemen directed by President Muhammadu Buhari at the National Security Summit in Abuja last year has commenced. The chairman of the Police Service Commission, Mike Okiro, who unveiled the portal, announced that it will be opened to the public on the 1st of April 2016. He noted that the exercise is very remarkable since the police has not carried out any recruitment for more than 5 years due to financial constraints. He also announced that there will be no charges for the processing of the forms, which will be done online, emphasizing that it is absolutely free.
Maybe from A, do you see it, and so on and so forth. So your number will give you the exact date of coming for interview or for screening. If you miss that day, you miss it.
Let's talk sports now. John Obi Mikel becomes new captain of Nigeria's Super Eagles as Novak Djokovic extends apology over his comments on equal pay in tennis. Kene Mabudike brings us more in sports update.
A change of baton in the captaincy of Nigeria's Super Eagles was effected at the team's media party in Kaduna Thursday afternoon, with forward Ahmed Musa stepping down from midfielder John Obi Mikel, who will now lead the Eagles as they file out against the Egyptian Pharaohs Friday in the first leg 2017 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Bailey Adams reported that the change in captaincy became necessary in order to respect seniority amongst the players. John Obi Mikel is obviously the most senior in the president's squad, having been with the team since 2006. Meanwhile, as the Eagles fine-tune preparation to face Egypt in Friday's cracker, enthusiasts maintain that the coach Samson Siasia team will claim maximum points en route to the return leg on March 29 in Alexandria.
The fans in Kaduna should come out. They should come out in mass to support the Super Eagles. It's not easy for you to take a national team to a place that they don't normally play, and a lot of people would like to watch the Super Eagles play, so they should come out and cheer the Super Eagles so that we'll be able to get confidence to bring them Super Eagles back to Kaduna to play again.
In Kaduna, we are going to win Egypt, and after that we will meet them in Alexandria. The worst thing we will take in Alexandria and in Egypt is a draw.
Men's tennis world number 1 Novak Djokovic has apologized to a number of leading female players and has equally spoken with Britain's Andy Murray following his comments about equal pay in the sport. The Serbian had already apologized in a Facebook post on Tuesday to those people who may have been upset by his comment, but went further with apologies when he faced the media in Miami midweek. With Sports Update, Kene Imabodike, NTA News.
And that sports update does it at NTA Panorama. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Join us again at 4 p.m. for Nationwide. I'm Joseph Johnson. Bye-bye.